Hi everyone, I'm Jen Sargent, and this is video journal number 1 for Human Behavior in the Social Environment class at CCV. In this video journal, I'm going to address the question of why is it important that social workers understand the attachment between infant toddlers and their parents. To answer this, I think we first need to understand what is meant by attachment. And in regards to human development, attachment would be the emotional bonds that is formed between an infant toddler and their parent early on in life. The emotional bond is lacking, then there is an attachment issue. The emotional bond is a vital part to the child's normal behavioral and social development, and Hutchinson tells us this in our book on page 116, where it is said that the attachment is the most important issue in an infant or toddler's development, and it determines future functioning. And by this, future relationships such as friendships and romantic relationships are all dependent on how we grew up and what kind of attachment we had with our parent or caregiver in our life. Mary Ainsworth, who's a psychologist who is known for her strange situations study, and her colleagues came up with 3 basic areas of attachment. And the first one is secured attachment. And by secured attachment, she meant that the child was okay with leaving the side of a mother in the room to explore and see what was going on. They used the mother as a home base, as Ainsworth referred to them as, and they felt safe. When the mother left the room, a child with secure attachment would cry a little bit, however, was willing to go and explore and see what was going on and look back, cry a little more. When the mother returned, the child was either easily soothed and able to keep going on. Then we have the anxious attachment, where the child is clung to the mother's leg, wants nothing to do with what's going on around them, is not easily swayed by toys or anything. And if the mother leaves the room, the child may cry uncontrollably and not be able to relax with the help of a stranger or a toy or anything. And when the mother returns, the child still does not calm down easily. They may swat and swing at the mother, and it takes a really long time to calm them down. The third type of attachment would be avoidant attachment, and this is where the child just doesn't care whether the mother is in the room or the mother leaves the room. They're indifferent about the situation. There is also a third attachment that has been listed, and Hutchins tells us on page 117 that it's called insecure, disorganized, or disoriented attachment. And this is a child who's looking for physical closeness. However, when they do start to get the physical closeness, they try to avoid it also. And many times this is found with children whose mothers are depressed, who have dealt with trauma in their own lives, who have had a history of abuse herself. And usually what happens is the mother may neglect or be really loud and verbally abusive towards an infant or toddler and frighten the infant or toddler. And even though they have a desperate need to be loved, they still push away and cannot feel the attachment. The other way is that the mother may be withdrawn and cannot soothe the infant or toddler when the toddler needs it or the infant needs it at that time. On page 120, Hutchinson also tells us that the future brain growth is seriously jeopardized if brain development is not adequately nurtured between the ages of 2 and 3 years. And now this leads me to why it's important for social workers to understand these different factors when dealing with clients. It's important to understand attachment because it may be contributing to the lack of the attachment between a child and a caregiver. Understanding where a parent came from as they grew up and what level of attachment they had with their parents or caregivers is very important. Many times we have the inability of a foster child who just doesn't have the ability to connect with their foster family. They maybe have behavioral problems, emotionally withdrawn, and they have severe attachment issues. Also, this may occur early on in a parent's life, which causes the parent to lack the ability to nurture and care for their own child. And this is important so that a social worker can guide the parent to resources that can help them to understand what is going on and how to fix the behavior. In an article in Psychology Today called "How Your Attachment Style Impacts Your Relationship," the author states, "An attachment patterns established in early childhood attachments and continues to function as a working model for relationships in adulthood." So in conclusion, the understanding of how important the role of creating a secure, loving attachment with an infant and a child will allow a social worker to guide a parent who may have not had attachment issues as a young child or infant with their own family to find ways to create a healthy and productive bond and nurturing bond to end the cycle of neglect or abuse that may be going on. Thank you.